moonshots. When I was in school in Sanaa, I remember distinctly telling all my friends that we should always aim for the moon. If you aim for the moon, you might land on Earth. So always project your thoughts higher and beyond anything else. I was reading about Mr. Naveen Jain the other day. I even heard him speak. Now, Naveen Jain is what is known as a curious entrepreneur. He comes up with these crazy ideas and is able to carry them through. Naveen says that you must be very bold. The bolder you are, the more likely you are to succeed. And the ideas should be so dramatic and so crazy that if you tell anyone I want to do this, they should turn down and say, "Man, you're crazy." Because if you are crazy with your idea and you're obsessed, you have a major ingredient for success. Obsession is what? Obsession is going to sleep thinking about something and waking up a few hours later thinking about the same thing. And obsession is the underlying backbone for you to arrive at a solution, because you already have a problem. Now you're working out the solution. And if you can work it out, and you will because you're thinking about that 20 hours a day, it's very likely to come to you at night or in the shower or in the morning or having breakfast or whatever. And then you killed it. You creamed it. Now, Naveen Jain has a company called Viome. What does Viome do? Viome is using artificial intelligence to look at, examine the bacteria in your gut, in your stomach of an individual, to determine, to analyze what food that person needs to eat. Because bacteria subsists in the gut of a individual. Every person has a gut, and in that gut there is an acid, and even bacteria subsist there. Can you imagine? And he will then tell you what food you need to eat, and there could be genetically modified food or whatever which he's producing or he will produce, so that you can eat and you can live almost forever. That's one company, Viome. Naveen Jain talks of moonshots. He talks of thinking so big, aiming for the moon. And if you are wanting to do something which is up in the moon, don't let it inhibit you or frighten you. Take your moonshot, because you must go after what you believe, whether it is in the moon or whatever. So he calls it moonshots. These daydreamers, these bold things that you want to do, it's a moonshot. Go for it. And guess what? He's created a company called Moon Express, the only company which is authorized by the United States government, the only private individual in the world who's authorized by the US government to send a robotic lander, a robot machine which is going to land on the moon and pick up samples from there and bring them back. And they'll be examined on Earth to see how they can be used to do research and development on moon products. The only man in the world to do this. So he says, wilder the idea, the better off you are. Whenever you do something, do not think about making money. Go for the problem at hand. And he says that solving a problem is the art of the journey. If you He aligns a problem to having an orgasm. He says if you're wanting to have an orgasm, you're just thinking about that, you're not going to have an orgasm. But if you work on the problem, if you work on the uh, issue at hand, you will have an orgasm. So there you go. It's the journey which is the most important. If you stress on that, you will succeed. And if you find success in the solution you're looking for, then money will come. As they say in the cricket parlance, if you hang around in the crease long enough, you will get the runs. But if you go slam bang, thank you, ma'am, you may not. You might just make it one swing and you hit a six. Next ball, you're out. It's all about hanging out. In solution, in business, you got to stay the course. You got to hang out. This is Naveen Jain for you. Wilder the idea, better off you are. And Steve Jobs says it so often. It's those people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the people who often do. So whatever you do, go beyond anyone else. in the service industry, give them such a service that no one else has ever thought about. In a product, improve people's lives dramatically. Not a little bit, not this much, but by a huge margin. And you will be way ahead of everyone else. These guys are super successful. They have made it by thinking big. Think big, become big. Go for it.